Rachel thought her baby was dying. The security camera showed her 9-month-old son lying in his crib at 3:47 a.m., and their African gray parrot, who should have been locked in his cage 2 rooms away, was hovering over the baby's face with his beak open. She couldn't see Oliver's chest rising, couldn't tell if he was breathing, and that bird, that jealous, territorial bird everyone warned her about, was doing something to her son's mouth. She had 60 seconds to get home before her entire world collapsed. But what actually happened in that nursery, what the camera captured in those early morning hours, will shatter everything you think you know about animal intelligence and love. Hit subscribe right now, because this footage went viral for a reason, and that reason will leave you speechless. 9 months before that heart-stopping moment, Rachel and her husband Tom brought home their son, Oliver. May thunderstorm, Austin, the kind of rain that sounds angry against hospital windows. Rachel remembers holding him for the first time, this tiny human that somehow belonged to her, and thinking everything just changed. But there was a problem waiting at home. Phoenix, that's what she'd named him. A 12-year-old African gray parrot with a sharp beak and an even sharper attitude. Nearly 300 words in his vocabulary, and he used them to commentary on everything. Rachel's cooking, Tom's singing, the mailman's punctuality. She'd rescued him 6 years back from a basement in San Antonio, where some guy had kept him in the dark for 8 months. Phoenix bonded to her the way drowning people grab life preservers, desperate, complete. Some mornings she'd wake up and he'd be on the headboard above her pillow, just watching her sleep with those black eyes. African grays do that, obsess over one person, get jealous if you so much as look at someone else too long. When Rachel's belly started showing, Phoenix noticed immediately. "Big stomach," he'd announce. Then a week later, "Rachel fat now." Tom nearly died laughing. Rachel didn't find it quite so funny, though she had to admit, the way Phoenix tilted his head when he said it, like he was genuinely confused about what was happening to her body, it was hard to stay mad. Her sister, Katie, came over for dinner when Rachel was 7 months pregnant. Katie worked at a veterinarian clinic, and she'd seen this exact situation play out before. She brought it up while they were clearing plates. "Have you thought about what you're going to do with Phoenix?" Rachel stopped mid-reach for a wine glass. "What do you mean?" "Beck, come on. African grays attack babies. I've seen it. They get insanely jealous, and they have beaks that can crack walnuts. Phoenix is obsessed with you. What do you think happens when a screaming infant takes all your attention?" The room got very quiet. Tom was in the doorway, listening. Katie wasn't done. "I had a client last year who had to rush her 3-month-old to the ER because their parrot went after the baby's face. 27 stitches. You need to be realistic here." Rachel felt something cold spread through her chest. Phoenix had gotten her through the divorce from her first husband. Through her dad's death, he'd somehow learned to say, "I'm sorry," in her dad's exact voice, which destroyed her every time she heard it. There were nights she'd wake up at 3 a.m. sobbing, and Phoenix would press his gray head against the cage bars and whisper, "Okay, Rachel, okay, okay." Give him up? She couldn't. But she also couldn't let him near Oliver if there was even a chance. Tom spent the next 3 weeks researching like his life depended on it. Books, YouTube videos. He found an avian behaviorist in Houston, Dr. Margaret Chen, who charged $200 an hour just for a phone call. They made a plan. Controlled introduction. baby sounds on a speaker so Phoenix could adjust gradually, supervise every interaction, never ever leave them alone together. The day they brought Oliver home, Phoenix was in his floor cage by the window. He'd been talking to himself about the neighbor's cat when Tom walked through the door carrying the car seat. Phoenix stopped mid-sentence. Just stopped. Rachel came in behind Tom, moving slowly because everything still hurt from the delivery. She lifted Oliver out of the car seat with shaking hands. "Phoenix, this is Oliver," she said. Her voice came out smaller than she meant it to.
Tom opened the cage. Phoenix stepped onto his playstand, shuffled sideways to get a better angle. His head bobbed. Those black eyes tracked every movement. Then he made this sound Rachel had never heard before. Soft clicking. The exact sound she made when Phoenix did something that pleased her. "Baby," Phoenix whispered. "Little bitty bee." His voice was so gentle it didn't sound like him at all. The weeks after that were bizarre. Phoenix didn't attack, didn't scream or throw food or pluck his feathers out and stress like Katie said he would. He watched. When Oliver cried, Phoenix would copy Rachel's voice. "Shh, shh, okay, baby." But here's the weird part. Phoenix started learning Oliver's sounds. The gurgles, the coos, those strange squeaks newborns make for no apparent reason. He'd echo them back, sometimes adding whistles. Oliver would track the bird with wide eyes from his bouncer, and his whole face would light up. Rachel had to go back to work in January. She taught high school English, and they needed her income. Leaving Oliver that first morning felt like someone was physically removing part of her body. But Tom worked from home doing IT consulting, so at least Oliver wouldn't be with a stranger. They installed security cameras in every room. Rachel could check them from her phone whenever she wanted. She checked constantly. Quick thing before we continue. If this story is getting to you, hit that like button and subscribe. More stories like this coming. Stories that actually matter. Okay, back to it. That Tuesday in late January started like any other. Rachel left at 6:30 for a faculty meeting. Tom fed Oliver at 7, changed him, got him down for his morning nap by 8:15. Phoenix was supposedly sleeping in his covered cage. At 9:30, Rachel was sitting in the world's most boring meeting about standardized test scores, barely paying attention, when she opened the baby monitor app. Just checking. She did this maybe 30 times a day. What she saw on the screen made her gasp so loud that everyone turned to stare. Phoenix was in the nursery, on the changing table. His beak was near Oliver's face, and she couldn't see the baby's chest moving, and the angle was wrong. All wrong. She couldn't tell if Oliver was breathing or if Phoenix was... "I have to go," she said, grabbing her purse. She was already running. Called Tom from the parking lot. Voicemail. Called again while she peeled out of the lot. Voicemail. He was on a work call with his headphones in, completely unaware that their bird was attacking their baby, and... Rachel doesn't remember the drive home. She remembers running red lights, remembers her hands shaking so badly on the steering wheel that she could barely hold it, remembers thinking about Sterling's beak, sharp, powerful, designed to crack Brazil nuts, and Oliver's soft baby skin. Katie's warning looped in her head. 27 stitches. She slammed into the house, didn't bother closing the car door, sprinted down the hallway, hit the nursery door so hard that it bounced off the wall. Phoenix was on the changing table. Oliver was in his crib. Laughing. Not screaming, not bleeding. Laughing, that deep baby belly laugh that sounds like pure joy in audio form. Phoenix was dancing.
actually dancing, head bobbing up and down, one foot lifting then the other, wings slightly spread, and he was singing, "Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star," but in this weird phoenix version with clicks and whistles and baby coos mixed in. Rachel just stood there. Her brain couldn't process what she was seeing. "Rachel home?" Phoenix spotted her and sounded thrilled about it. "Rachel, Rachel!" He looked back at Oliver. "Make baby laugh. Phoenix, make baby laugh." She walked to the crib. Her legs felt disconnected from her body. Picked up Oliver, and he was fine. Completely fine, grinning at Phoenix like the bird was the most amazing thing he'd ever seen. Tom appeared in the doorway, headphones around his neck. "Ratch, did something happen? Did you put him in here?" Her voice was shaking. Tom looked at Phoenix, back at Rachel. "What? No, he's supposed to be in his cage. How did he even—" The cage door was open when they checked, hanging wide open, the supposedly bird-proof latch defeated. Rachel pulled up the security footage on her phone. Her hands were still trembling. 9:15 a.m., Oliver wakes up from his nap, not crying, just making those happy babbling sounds. The camera shows Tom in his office, door closed, on a video call. 9:17, Phoenix's cage door swings open. He'd figured out the latch. They'd watched him try to pick that lock 100 times over the years, but he'd never actually succeeded, until now. He emerges, looks towards Tom's office, then flies down the hallway to the nursery. The door is cracked, Tom's habit, so he can hear if Oliver cries. Phoenix lands on the changing table, leans over the crib rail where Oliver is lying awake, watching the ceiling fan.
What happened next made Rachel's throat close up so tight she couldn't breathe. Phoenix starts performing, deliberately. He dances, sings, makes ridiculous sounds, and Oliver, 9 months old, just figuring out that his actions make things happen, starts to laugh. Phoenix's reaction is immediate. He gets more animated, tries different moves, different sounds, testing what makes Oliver laugh harder. It's not random. It's not instinct. It's intentional. "He heard Oliver wake up," Rachel whispered, watching the timestamp. "And he wanted to make him happy." Tom was staring at the phone screen like it was showing him something from another planet. How? How did he know Oliver would like that? How did he know what to do? Rachel thought about all those months of Phoenix watching her with Oliver, watching her make silly faces, sing songs, do anything to get that baby to smile. Phoenix observing everything with those intelligent black eyes. He'd been learning, studying, and then he'd used that knowledge. She called Dr. Chen. The behaviorist watched the footage 3 times without speaking. When she finally spoke, her voice sounded thick. "Rachel, this is extraordinary. This isn't just problem solving. This is empathy. This is theory of mind. Phoenix observed your interactions with Oliver, understood that the goal was to make the baby happy, and then independently chose to do the same thing when he had the opportunity. He escaped his enclosure, navigated to the nursery, and executed a plan based on social learning." Dr. Chen paused the video and zoomed in on Phoenix. Look at his body language throughout this. His feathers are relaxed. His movements are controlled, gentle. He's being deliberately careful around Oliver. He sees that baby as part of his flock, as family. Rachel posted the video to a Parrot owner's Facebook group that night, just to share with people who might appreciate it. By the next morning, it had 1 million views. By afternoon, 5 million. Her phone wouldn't stop ringing. News stations, morning shows. A CNN producer left 4 voicemails. Genius Parrot breaks out of cage to entertain baby was trending on Twitter. The video became a case study that Dr. Chen used in her graduate seminar on avian cognition. But Rachel didn't care about any of that. What she cared about was what she'd learned. Phoenix didn't see Oliver as competition. He'd embraced him, found purpose in making this tiny human happy. They got Phoenix a new cage with better locks, though I suspect she could probably still escape if she really wanted to. More importantly, they started including him in everything. Tummy time with Phoenix on his play stand nearby, singing encouragement. Meals with Phoenix demonstrating eating, saying yummy yummy until Oliver actually started eating his vegetables. As Oliver grew, the bond between them deepened. He'd crawl to Phoenix's cage, pull himself up on the bars, babble nonsense at the bird. Phoenix would press his beak gently to Oliver's tiny fingers through the bars, making soft, clicking sounds. Rachel's phone is full of photos. Oliver in his high chair, laughing so hard tears are running down his face while Phoenix dances on the kitchen table. Phoenix carefully preening Oliver's baby-fine hair while the kid sits perfectly still, completely trusting. Oliver's first steps, taken while reaching for Phoenix on his perch. The video changed things for other families too. Comment after comment from people who'd been about to rehome their pets when babies arrived. "You saved my dog," one woman wrote. "I was going to take him to a shelter next week, but your video made me realize I should at least try." On Oliver's first birthday, they threw a party. Phoenix wore a tiny party hat for approximately 45 seconds before ripping it off and flinging it at Tom's head. He sang Happy Birthday in his own style, part English, part whistles, part baby babble that somehow made perfect sense. When Oliver demolished his smash cake, getting frosting in his hair and up his nose, Phoenix bobbed his head. Messy, Oliver messy baby. That night, after everyone left and Oliver was asleep, Rachel sat on the couch with Phoenix on her shoulder. Tom was looking at the framed photo on the mantel, the one of Phoenix and Oliver, both caught mid-laugh. "I was so scared," Tom said quietly, "when Katie said all that stuff about attacks." "I know." Rachel reached up to scratch Phoenix's head. He made a soft churring sound. "Everyone told us it would be a disaster." "Smart bird," Phoenix announced, like he'd been following the conversation. "Phoenix, good bird." Rachel felt tears prick her eyes. "Yeah, buddy, the very best bird." African greys live 50, 60 years sometimes. Rachel thought about everything ahead. Oliver's first words, first day of school, first heartbreak. Phoenix would be there for all of it. A constant presence who'd chosen love when everyone expected jealousy. The camera captured something impossible. Proof that family isn't about DNA. It's about showing up, about choosing every day to care about someone else's happiness as much as your own. In a world obsessed with differences, Phoenix and Oliver reminded millions of people that connection can happen anywhere. Sometimes the ones who love us most fiercely, who understand us most deeply, don't look anything like us at all. The nursery camera is still there, still recording, ordinary moments and extraordinary ones. and Phoenix, who escaped not to flee, but to bring joy to a baby, remains exactly where he belongs, at the center of a family that made room for every kind of love. If this story got to you, smash that like button and subscribe. Drop a comment about the unexpected friendships in your life. And remember, sometimes the most profound love stories are the ones nobody sees coming.